All right, so I'm in here with Clyde Score, and we're in his home studio. And Clyde, give us a little tour of your studio. What do you have in here, and how does your studio function?
The studio functions a couple of different ways. It's a practice studio for me. It's also an area studio where I can put my ideas together for writing and recording, but I also am able to lay down tracks and then send them to Jim Miller on Cape Cod with the Gringos so that he can mix things with the other fellows back there as far as tracks. Here I have a Yamaha synthesizer, and I don't know the model number, but anyway, it has a lot of sounds on it. And so when I'm layering sounds, I have access to trumpet sounds and violins and saxophone. So while I'm not a saxophone player, I can visualize what a sax might be on a piece with these sounds. This piano is a clavinova that belonged to my dad, and he gigged on this. He was doing gigs on this in Oregon, and so it has special meaning for me because it was my dad's. But I use it primarily for the piano sound, and it has a piano touch, weighted keys that feel like a piano. Here I have my Focusrite interface, and I needed 8 inputs for this because this allows me to mic up all my drum kit and get all the sounds into this. This particular drum kit, I like the sounds of it, but I especially bought it for the bass drum sound, that really deep sound for pop and rock. In that bass drum, I have 2 mics. I have a large diaphragm AKG mic, and in front of it, a special mic I bought that normally might cost, I don't know, $500. I found one for about $180, a sub bass drum mic. So I'm able to mix the two together and get a really nice bass drum sound. But all of these mics, including mics like this that I might use for vocal or for some guitars, I could take from this, and it goes from the interface into my MacBook Pro. And in the MacBook, I have Logic Pro software, and that allows me to mix as many tracks as I want. I'm still learning about mixing, but I'm able to get really good sounds and layer sounds in here for my own projects, as well as send individual tracks from this through the internet to my friends on Cape Cod for mixing back there. And okay, here I have an array of string instruments. This is a 5-string banjo, primarily used for playing bluegrass, and I'm not a very good banjo player. The really good banjo players do amazing things by weaving their banjo roll arpeggios with their melody into this. Paul Reed Smith electric guitar, steel string Martin that was a gift to me from Alan Niven, who is the producer and manager of Guns N' Roses. I happened to be teaching his kids, and he gave me this gift, Coalwood Barton with steel strings. This is a classical guitar with nylon strings. And I have a couple on the other wall here too as well. This is a 6-string banjo, so it has a banjo sound, but it's tuned exactly like a guitar. So anything that I would play normally as far as fingering on a guitar, I can play with a banjo sound with this. This is a gift from my brother, who I'm hoping I'll be able to give back as he acquires more skills and facilities with his finger. This is an acoustic electric nylon string guitar, which sounds wonderful when plugged in or played. And every morning I play with this because I love the touch of it and I love the sound of it. But this gives me a functional studio. This is a printer that I use primarily for copying music that I can give to my students. While I'm a teacher, I'm very much a student, and a lot of the things I do in this studio are aimed also at facilitating me teaching my students in my downtown studio. So that's pretty much it. I have another computer. This one, the other computer is primarily used all for music. This I use for internet and my business things and communication, emails, so I don't overload that with this as well. Also, sometimes I use, as well as the Paul Reed Smith, I have a Les Paul that my favorite brother gave me that I also use for recording because of the humbucker pickups in that. I have a couple of practice amps here that I play through, and I really, this amp has some modeling in it. This primarily is a just basic overdrive amp, and at some point I'd like to get some kind of a tube amp, like maybe maybe a small Fender or something that is an actual tube amp for playing like blues styles and things, of which I'm not very good at, but still having the right sound. The sound that you're using facilitates your feeling for what you play so much. And the same with this drum set. This bass drum makes me want to create when I hear that bass drum sound, it makes me want to create rock and pop and funk grooves with that. But hopefully you'll have your own studio with your tools that you've collected that facilitate the projects you're working on, or the feelings of your heart, which is the most important. So you may collect your own tools for your needs that way.